Good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us for the meeting to share our ideas for reimagining the Taggart Lake experience. I'm Sammy Powers, Branch Manager of Planning and Compliance at Grand Teton National Park. I'll be moderating our public meeting this evening. Since 2021, we've been working closely with our stakeholders to define a shared vision for Grand Teton. This included several meetings with stakeholders, public meetings, and rounds of public comment to establish desired conditions or define what we're trying to achieve with regards to resource preservation and visitor experience in the park. Building off that effort over the last 2 years, we've been discussing this project with partners, tribes, stakeholders, community members, staff, and many others. Today, we're presenting the outcome of these conversations and providing an opportunity to answer questions about the project. Ultimately, we'd like to provide enough information between the environmental assessment we've shared and the meeting tonight for you to be able to share with us your perspectives on this project. We'll share more information about how you can formally comment in our planning, environment, and public comment page later in the presentation. Next slide, please. Today's agenda will summarize critical information about the project and provide an opportunity for a question and answer period. Today's presentation is going to include background about the project, information about the environmental assessment, which is the document that outlines and assesses the impacts of the proposed project, the purpose, need, and desired conditions and objectives for the project and the Taggart Lake area, an overview of the different alternatives, an analysis of the foreseeable impacts and instructions of how to formally comment, and the planning timeline. We'll follow up all this information with a question and answer period. Next slide, please. I'm just going to give you some brief instructions about how the webinar will work. If you're joining from a computer, that's the big screen there, and you can see up in the corner, there's a button that says Q&A. If you're joining from your phone, that same button is down at the bottom with a little question mark. If you click on there, a Q&A box will open up. If you need closed captioning on a computer, you can click captions at the top of your page, and on the bottom of a phone, you have to click those three little buttons and select captioning. And finally, if you want to leave the meeting, you can press the red button with the phone on it. When you submit a question, our team will reply by letting you know that we've received your question. Next slide, please. This is what it will look like when you're trying to ask a question. After you press the Q&A button, you'll be prompted to ask the question in this blank space, and we will be compiling the questions, and we'll do the Q&A at the end of the meeting. Questions and comments that are submitted through this meeting are not considered formal public comment. You have to go to our park planning page. The web link is here, and we'll make sure you get it in chat, and it will be available, as will a recording of this presentation after the presentation is done on the same page, our park planning page. Next slide, please. Tonight, we have 3 speakers who are going to be doing this presentation. First of all, Chip Jenkins, Superintendent of Grand Teton National Park. Next, Amanda Brushhaber, Compliance Specialist. And finally, Jenna Mason Bjornstadt, the Landscape Architect and Project Manager for our project at Taggart. Next slide, please. I'm going to pass it off to Chip.
Hey, thanks, Sammy. Good evening, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy lives to learn more about the Taggart Lake project and be prepared to be able to give us feedback in order to help us do the best project that we possibly can. And the way that we do that is by continuing to build on the feedback that you have provided us so far. So thanks again for tuning in. Hopefully this is informative, mildly entertaining, and we welcome taking your questions when we get to the end. So you'll see in the photo here is some photos of Taggart Lake, at the people at the trailhead, people out at Taggart Lake swimming, the traffic along the road. Taggart Lake Trailhead is a place where many people start their visit to Grand Teton National Park. Taggart Lake is a popular year-round trailhead. In fact, it's our most popular year-round trailhead. Taggart Lake serves as a starting point for a range of visitor opportunities, including hiking, skiing, snowshoeing, photography, wildlife viewing, and so much more. Grand Teton has experienced growing visitation for years, and Taggart Lake is seeing this increasing visitation, not just during the summer, but year-round. Park-wide, recreation visits have increased from 2.6 million visits in 2013 to 3.4 million visits in 2023, and we are on track for having our second busiest year this year. Our expectation is that visitation is going to continue to grow. And people who come and visit the park, such as yourselves, are seeing the changes and experiencing those changes for yourselves, including here at Taggart Lake. And some of the challenges and complexities that we are dealing with at Taggart Lake is about how people arrive, that sense of arrival, how they park, getting out of their cars and being able to go for a ski, snowshoe, walk, or hike. And actually, interestingly enough, getting out on the trail and going for a recreational activity is actually more constrained during the summer than it is in the winter. Because actually, if you think about it, people who are going on the summer are staying on the trails. People who are coming for the winter are actually kind of going all over the place, whether it's up 25 Short, Mavericks, or out on the paved road or elsewhere. So park staff has gathered visitor use data at Taggart since 1995. Some of the things we have learned include, and actually you might want to change the slide. Thank you. 65% of the summer users at Taggart Lake are using Grand Teton for the first time. Taggart Lake Loop Trail is among the highest use trails in the park, particularly during the summer. On average, there are over 700 users per day. The use of the Taggart Trailhead has increased over the last 10 years substantially. In fact, according to the data that we've collected, that use of Taggart Lake has increased more than 100% in the last 10 years. So if you compare that to overall park visitation, that has increased about 20% over the last 10 years, the use of Taggart Lake has increased over 100% in the last 10 years. It's not just more people are visiting, but people are visiting differently. According to our survey information, about 5% of people are visiting. At least one person in their party has some degree of limited mobility and found it difficult to participate in the Taggart Lake area with their family or friends. Also, what we have figured out is that in July, on an average July day, there are about 6,700 vehicles that drive by on the park road past the Taggart Trailhead. Getting feedback from visitors and from people such as yourself, people most often say that what they would like to see more of is more parking, more restrooms, better trail signage, and better orientation information from people. So we have been hearing from people about the changing experiences and what people like. In fact, we've been hearing from people through visitor surveys, surveys that we've done on site, comments that people have sent into us, including comment periods last October and November. And we appreciate getting your ideas to improve experiences. In fact, we have gotten over 1,100 distinct ideas and comments that we have been considering as we develop the plan for the future of Taggart Lake. So thank you very much for all of that. A key part of what we have been hearing, though, can be broken into a few categories. Overall, we're hearing from people that the arrival sequence, that there's a fair amount of confusion when people are coming, trying to figure out where Taggart Lake is, trying to figure out how to get out of your car, where to go to the trail and start your journey. People also have been commenting a lot about sure would be nice to have better restrooms rather than just the phalanx of porta potties that are there. Also, we're hearing that the trail experience could be better for a wider range of people, including hearing from people that they would like to increase the trails to make them more available for people with some mobility impairments. And people really desiring to be able to get a little bit further away from the road, a little bit further into the backcountry for a wider range of experiences. So today, we're here to present the preferred alternative that we have developed based upon all of the feedback and the input that we have gotten from all of you. We think that this preferred alternative will help us make for a better Taggart experience and for a better Grand Teton experience. And next slide, please. And we are really, really fortunate because here at Grand Teton National Park, in order to be able to implement changes to the park, we are lucky to have a great park in the Grand Teton National Park Foundation. The Grand Teton National Park Foundation works on our behalf to work on priorities that we set by going out and raising funding. Together, we have worked to make this one of our priority projects, and more than 70% of the project will be funded through private philanthropy. The remaining 25 to 30% is going to be funded through federal funding, primarily through the National Park Service Centennial Challenge, which is appropriated funding provided to us by Congress. So the Grand Teton Foundation is in the process of raising this money now. They're the 14 million, but they are well on their way to reach that fundraising goal. So now I'm going to turn this over to Amanda, who's going to discuss how we're implementing the National Environmental Policy Act as we move forward with this project. Thanks, and get your questions ready.
Thank you, Chip. It's great to be here this evening. My name is Amanda Brushaber, and I'm the compliance specialist on this project. Last fall, we discussed ideas with you about how we may reimagine the Taggart Lake experience using your feedback along with other resources such as visitor surveys, natural and cultural resource information. We have developed a preferred alternative and drafted a document called an environmental assessment. The image on this slide you're looking at now shows the cover of the document we're talking about today, and this is the document we're asking you to review. You can look for a link in the question and answer pod that will direct you to the project homepage where you can both access this document to review it as well as provide formal comment. For those of you who are not familiar with an environmental assessment, it's often referred to as an EA. It is a public document required under the National Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA, that analyzes and discloses the impacts of a project prior to issuing a decision. I've listed on this slide some of the things you'll find within the environmental assessment, such as the project description, the need for the project, as well as impacts of the project. Next slide, please. So I want to just take a minute and revisit a little bit of the information we provided to you last fall, because this does build the foundation that the preferred alternative was developed based on. So on this slide, you see an image of the project area. It is encircled by a white dashed line. There are three main focal areas as well as the trail system, one being the Taggart Lake Trailhead, the second being the Cottonwood Creek picnic area, and the third being that eastern shoreline of Taggart Lake. As I said, the trail system is also a big piece of this project. So as a reminder, just to revisit, we did talk to you last fall about the project purpose, and just that's to provide these opportunities for high quality visitor experiences that align with the desired conditions for park resources, facilities, and visitor experience for the project area. The project is needed to address challenges visitors may experience while driving on the Teton Park Road, that scenic driving experience, as well as transitioning from their vehicle to their recreational objective. Chip touched on it perfect. I don't think I need to expand anymore on the other need being the deteriorated and insufficient trailhead and trail infrastructure. But I will mention that there are associated resource impacts, and that is another need associated with this project. Next slide, please. So I mentioned in the purpose of the project that we're looking to provide opportunities for high quality visitor experiences that align with our desired conditions for the project area. So what are desired conditions? Those are statements of aspiration that describe resource conditions, visitor experiences and opportunities, as well as facilities and services that the National Park Service strives to achieve and maintain in a particular area or the park. In this case, we're talking about the Taggart Lake area. These desired conditions help us answer that question of what are we even trying to achieve here? Desired conditions describe the conditions, outcomes, and opportunities to be achieved and maintained into the future. They may not necessarily reflect what exists today, or they may. We may be meeting the desired conditions in some situations out there. So the Taggart Lake project area has 3 different management areas, each with its own desired conditions for resources, facilities, and visitor experiences. These 3 areas are listed on the slide. We're looking at the Teton Park Road, the parking lot and trailhead, and the trail and shoreline. As shown on this slide, desired conditions may be different for each area, and that actually makes a lot of sense when you think about what the visitor experience might be close to the Teton Park Road versus what it may be out by Taggart Lake. The examples provided on this slide are brief excerpts of the overall Taggart Lake desired conditions, and I want to just take a close deep dive into the Teton Park Road as an example. When we're considering these desired conditions for the Teton Park Road, we're aspiring to achieve conditions that provide opportunities for scenic driving with unobstructed views. We're looking for a condition that allows bicyclists to safely and efficiently navigate through the area. And we're also looking at conditions that minimize impacts to the natural movement of wildlife. So when we take a look at these images, the top right side picture on the slide shows the existing condition with vehicles parked close to the road corridor in the parking lot, as well as road shoulder parking. When this condition exists, visitors may experience obstructed view sheds. Bicyclists may not have clear sight lines, and wildlife may find it difficult to cross the Teton Park Road. It might be more challenging for them. The bottom image shows what this area could look like with a parking lot set back from the road and without roadside parking. The conditions in the bottom image better align with the desired conditions on the Teton Park Road by minimizing the impacts of parked vehicles in the view shed for those driving down the Teton Park Road. It opens up sight lines for users of the multi-use pathway. And ideally, it also helps to minimize impacts on natural wildlife movement. We have mega wildlife trying to cross the road, but we also have porcupines and other smaller wildlife that we may not even be thinking about. The parking lot and trailhead, as well as the trail and shoreline, also have desired conditions that have been used to identify project objectives and develop the preferred alternative. I want to emphasize the examples on this slide are just a subset of the Taggart Lake area desired conditions, and I highly encourage you to review the desired conditions for this project area in Appendix A of the document, so you have this context while considering the preferred alternative. Next slide, please. So we did develop some project objectives based on our desired conditions, as well as public feedback. These objectives support the purpose and need for the project as well. We're looking at relocating parking, improving that visitor arrival and transition to recreational opportunities, and minimizing impacts on our park resources alongside with visitor experience improvements. And then a key piece of this project from the get-go, and Chip hit on this earlier, is the objective to incorporate design principles that improve accessibility for visitors within a greater range of physical abilities and outdoor recreation experience. A key objective has always been to improve opportunities at Taggart Lake to provide a greater to allow people to explore farther from the Teton Park Road, whether that's a multi-generational family or if we're talking about folks with limited mobility or other issues that may cause them to have trouble out there. So I've outlined the information that informed the preferred alternative, and I'd like to pass the conversation over to Jenna Mason Bjornstad to present the preferred alternative. So next slide, please.
Thank you, Amanda, and good evening, everyone. I'm Jenna Mason Bjornstad, project manager on this project, and I'll be sharing an overview of what's included in the two alternatives considered in this EA, starting with alternative A, which is the no action alternative. This alternative provides a baseline for evaluating the changes and impacts in the action alternative at the project area shown on the map you see here, including the Taggart Lake parking lot and trailhead pictured in the top photo, and the Cottonwood Creek picnic area shown in the bottom photo. Under the no action alternative, Grand Teton would continue to take actions to address issues as they come up and would continue efforts to protect resources and wilderness values in the project area while also providing for visitor safety. This includes actions like routine maintenance of trails and facilities that would continue as funds are available, but overall upgrades and redesign of trails and facilities would not occur. Roadside parking in the Taggart area would continue under alternative A, and it would continue to be managed with response to changes in visitor behavior and to protect resources. Overall, under alternative A, the park would respond to future needs without major change or actions, changes to our baseline, which would be a continuation of really the existing conditions and approach out there. If we could move on to the next slide, please. We'll take a look at alternative B, which is the proposed action alternative and the preferred alternative. On this project area map, we've highlighted many of the key locations where proposed action would occur under alternative B, and I'll share some more details on those, starting with Area 1, the Taggart Lake Trail parking lot and trailhead, which would be realigned and relocated to the west and would be expanded to accommodate the existing parking lot capacity and the equivalent of existing summer roadside parking. The lot would be reconfigured to accommodate a variety of vehicle types, including horse trailers and oversized vehicles. And during the summer months, parking would occur in the parking lot only, while during winter months, roadside parking is expected to occur when that lot is full, and the park would manage it for resource protection, operational needs, and for safety. In the trailhead area near the parking lot, some improvements would include a potable water source for summer use, improved accessibility and information on trail conditions, interpretive, educational, and wayfinding signage, and the current toilet facilities would be replaced with permanent restrooms. In the area marked as 2 on the map, a segment of the multi-use pathway would be realigned to the east side of the Teton Park Road, and a single entry exit point to the parking lot from the roadway would be established to help improve sight lines and flow along the pathway and the roadway. Next to 3 on the map, at the Cottonwood Creek picnic area, deteriorated infrastructure would be replaced, and other accessibility improvements like a firm and stable surface would be installed within that picnic area. Moving over to look at the Taggart Lake Loop Trail, the first trail segment next to 4 on the map, between the updated parking lot and the first bridge would be slightly realigned, regraded, and resurfaced to meet accessible trail standards. And moving along up the trail to segment 5, the segment after the first bridge, would have trail work that builds up and stabilizes eroded areas with rock work, steps, and water bars, while the segment of trail approaching the lakeshore, marked as number 6 on the map, may have a pilot backcountry toilet installed. And under consideration for this is a decomposing toilet with a urine diverting system that's suitable for summer use, And it's a type of system that can sit lightly on the landscape and be removed as needed and the area rehabilitated. Alternative B also looks at restricting equestrian use on the trail segments between the new parking lot and the Bradley Lake Trail Junction, primarily due to the high density of visitor use along this segment, and because some trail tread materials under consideration up to the first bridge might be less suitable for hoof traffic and less durable to it. Instead, the primary access for equestrian users from the parking lot to the lake would be via the loop trail that leads west from the parking lot. Lastly, at number 7 on the map, work in the lakeshore area would delineate water access points and reduce social paths, which is work that would use all natural materials consistent with existing conditions and the feeling at the lakeshore. As a reminder, these are just some of the highlights of actions included in Alternative B. So we really encourage you to review the EA for more details not covered in this presentation. If we could move on to the next slide, please. We'll take a look at construction sequencing and how project construction might impact recreation in the area. The map on this slide breaks down the timing on project work in different areas, which would start in 2026 and continue through 2027, with work happening on site from April through November, both years, starting with the Taggart Lake parking lot in 2026. Both the existing Taggart Lake Trail parking lot and the Cottonwood Creek picnic areas would be used as construction staging areas in 26 and 27 respectively. And during construction, the Taggart Lake Trailhead would have limited or intermittent access, but winter parking would remain available. And with that, I'll pass it back to Amanda. And the next slide, please. Thank you.
Thanks, Jenna. All right, I'm going to jump back into some NEPA discussion here, and we're going to talk just briefly about reasonably foreseeable impacts. NEPA does direct us to consider and analyze reasonably foreseeable impacts, both beneficial and adverse, that could occur during implementation. You can review the impact, you can view and review the impact analysis for the resources listed on this slide in Chapter 3 of the EA. So I'm not going to go into the impacts, but do encourage you to visit the document and take a look at Chapter 3 if you're interested in learning more. There's some images on here that reflect some of the key impact areas that this document considers, such as wildlife and wildlife habitat, vegetation, wilderness, view sheds, things of that nature, as listed on this slide. Next slide, please. Okay, formal comments. You do need to submit your comments online by visiting the project homepage, and we'll drop the link to that again into your chat bubble there. The homepage provides instructions to navigate to the comment page where you can find the document and provide formal comment. If you'd like to review it, and if you look on the slide, I've shown you over in the left-hand menu where the green arrow is pointing toward open for comment. That's how you'll navigate to the document and formal comment. If you are interested in reviewing information provided during previous outreach, click just above the green arrow in that menu where you see document link, and you can find the information we shared with you last fall, as well as the feedback we received. Just want to reemphasize that questions or comments submitted during this webinar will not be considered formal comments on the project. We really do need you to visit the project page to provide that comment. During the public comment period, we are asking you to review this document and provide feedback. Please consider providing context for why you support or dislike elements of the preferred alternative. That would really help us if we don't have to interpret the intent behind what you're trying to share with us or communicate with us. We will consider all comments, but we are really looking for substantive comments, those comments that are substantive in nature. And what I mean by that are those comments that question with reasonable basis the accuracy of the information or the adequacy of the environmental analysis. those comments that present reasonable alternatives other than those presented in the document, and comments that cause changes or revisions to the proposal. Next slide, please. So I want to let you know where we're going to go from here. So public comment is open through midnight on September 23rd at the project page. Once that period closes, we will be reviewing, analyzing, and considering all the public comments. We will be reading every single comment and considering comments within the information we receive. We'll be doing that throughout this fall and then prepare to release the final decision to the public in early December. That's the timeline we're working with right now. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Chip and let him take us through to the Q&A.
Great. Hey, thanks. Whether you're at a parking lot, at the trailhead, whether you're exploring the trail, whether you're skiing to one of the front four, whether you're enjoying the Lakeshore Trail, visitors to Taggart Lake have opportunities for high quality experiences. And we want to make them better. And we need your help. We need your help by asking questions. We need your help by making suggestions. We need your help by participating in this process. And it helps us if you can be as specific as you can, not just in terms of maybe pointing out something that you're concerned about, but actually then offering up the suggestion on exactly how to make that better. And also, if you see things that you like, don't assume that just because you like it, it's going to remain. Other people may raise concerns or thoughts about that, and we may make changes, and we may wind up actually changing something that you like. So let us know what you like about this. And by helping us, you can make sure that a visit to Taggart remains a grand experience, one that we all deserve. So speaking of a high quality experience, we also want to take this opportunity to make sure that you are aware of some of the things going on in the park in the next couple of years that have the potential to affect how you visit and how other people visit and their experience both in the near term and the long term. Can we go to the next slide, please? So during the summer of 2026 through 2028, there are going to be all sorts of planned construction activities going on in the Moose area. This graphic is showing some of the work going on over the next few years. Here at Grand Teton, we are actively planning the projects and we'll be doing our utmost best to share information with people about what's coming, just like we are right now. And there is, as I said, there's going to be a significant amount of construction in the Moose area from the Death Canyon Trailhead up through Taggart and the Cottonwood area. That is going to be going on in 2026 through 2028. Really, really important to remember that this is going to be phased. It's not all going to be going on at exactly the same time. It's not all going to be disruptive in exactly the same way at the same time. This is going to be phased and you will be seeing changes that will occur week to week, month to month through 2026, 2027, and 2028. And part of what's going to be going on is we're going to be building a new trailhead at the Death Canyon Trailhead. We're going to be rebuilding the road on Moose Wilson from Death Canyon to Moose. That is going to include building a new roundabout in Moose, where the Chapel of Transfiguration Road comes in, and we will be connecting the Moose Wilson Road. We're also going to be building a new Moose entrance station where we will be adding more entrance lanes and moving the entrance station in closer to the park. There's also going to be, as we've been talking about here, the Taggart Lake Trailhead, parking lot, construction at the Cottonwood picnic area, as well as all of the trails going up to the trail work going up to Taggart. We're also going to have work going on eventually where we're going to be what's called pavement preservation, which is actually pulling up and grinding up and replacing the asphalt on the roads and bridges. We're also going to have work going on over in Monroe, implementing that project, including building a parking lot and trail improvements there. And then last, we're going to be putting in a wastewater treatment system that will be connecting the historic Ford Lazy F ranch to our wastewater treatment system here in Moose. So we've got a bunch coming on up. We're going to be doing our utmost in terms of sharing information throughout the winter, spring, and summer. We're going to be working with the hospitality industry to encourage people to explore the north end of Grand Teton National Park, where we're going to be making some minor improvements around Coulter Bay to try to make that area even more appealing to folks. So next year, instead of doing the hike to Inspiration Point, you might consider going up and hiking the Lakeshore Trail in Coulter Bay. So stay tuned for that information. Now on to the next slide, where I think I'm turning it back to Sammy. Thanks.
Thank you, Chip. So we just provided a lot of information to everyone. Please take a moment and think about if you have any questions for us. Go ahead and click on that little bubble with a question mark and insert your questions so that we can start trying to answer them. In the meantime, I'm going to begin with some of the questions that we've already received. So the first question is for Chip. The question is, what will winter use look like?
Hey, winter use is going to look like it does now. Hopefully there'll be snow on the ground. You'll be able to go out there, park, be able to go for a skate ski on the Groom Park Road, thanks to funding from the Grand Teton National Park Foundation that pays for that grooming, or be able to slap the skins on and head into the Teton Range. So during the construction project, as well as also once the project is done, our plan is to be continuing to have the primary winter trailhead there. Only in the future, once the project's done, we will have more bathrooms, as well as actually more parking available to folks. Same is true for Sprinter or the month of April, when people love to come out. I know I love to go out when the park road has been plowed and dry and ready for bikes, rollerblades, and other wheeled fun. So we're planning on continuing to do that into the future. So thanks for that question, Sammy.
Great. Thank you, Chip. All right. Our next question is for Jenna. The question is, I heard in your presentation that you're making the trail accessible. What does that mean?
Great question. So the goal is to make the trail usable for people with a wider range of abilities. And for this, we would be following the standards set within the Architectural Barriers Act, pertaining to the surface, to make it a firm and stable surface, overall reducing barriers and tripping hazards, and that could be natural barriers like rocks that stick up, or human-created ones like some of the steps that we have out there. And then also providing a sufficient width for the trail and width for passing areas, and then making sure that that grade meets certain grades so that it's not overly steep in places.
Great. Thank you, Jenna. And you can stay with me because the next question is also for you. I heard this reiterated a few times during the presentation, but we'll go ahead and say this up front for everyone. Will there be more parking available than is there now?
Great question. So the new parking lot would accommodate the existing parking lot capacity and the equivalent of roadside parking that we see there. So it's bringing all of that parking together to provide sufficient parking.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Jenna. And we got another question, and I will take this one. Does Grand Teton National Park know or have estimates of how many people visit the Taggart Lake project area annually? We do track this information. In the summer, on average, more than 700 people visit the Taggart area per day. And on peak days, more than 1,000 people visit the Taggart area each day during the summer. On average, more than 160,000 visitors visit the Taggart Trailhead per year. And this is approximately 4.4% of total visits to the park for 2024. So that's the kind of use levels we're seeing at Taggart. I am not seeing any other questions that have come in. So with no other questions, I'm going to remind folks to please go ahead and remember to comment on the Planning, Environment, and Public Comment page that we in the Park Service lovingly refer to as Pepsi, or our project homepage. And we are seeking your comments by September 23rd to make sure that we get your comments in time to fit into the formal comment period. And with that, I'm going to pass it to Chip to wrap it up.
Great, thanks, Sammy. Thanks everybody on the park team for spending time this afternoon pulling this presentation and meeting together. Really appreciate it. To all of you that tuned in or that are watching this recording, we really appreciate you taking the time to be able to view this, to learn more about the Taggart Lake project. Let's please all continue to work together to make Taggart and the rest of the park truly grand. We appreciate your help. Y'all take care. Have a great evening.